What's up, babes? Welcome back to The Juicy Truth. I'm Dr. Jenny, and I'm so excited to be joined by my friend Bri. She is a personal stylist, style strategist, and just an absolute queen of thrifting. Personally, that's my opinion. If you've ever seen me wearing something cool and you're like, wow, Dr. Jenny, I love that outfit, it's probably because Bri helped me find it and or thrifted it for me. So we are going to be chatting about all things style, confidence, and how your style can actually be such a powerful way to express yourself and create confidence, not the other way around. So, Bri, thank you for being here. Can you share a little bit about what magic you bring into the world as a personal stylist and style strategist?
Yeah. So hello everybody. Like Jenny said, I'm Bree. I've been, just utilizing funky and unique style ever since I was like in high school. So fun fact about me, I actually won best dressed in high school, and so I never really thought anything of it. I just always liked wearing things that were a little different or outside of the box. I remember like searching through my mom's closet, and at the time we now call it like office core, what you would call office core, which are like slacks or vests or blazers. My mom wore that to work, and I would search through her closet and come up with these crazy outfits and go up to her and be like, Mom, what do you think? She's like, it's a little weird, but girl, you do you. So I just always liked wearing, weird, funky clothes. And it evolved into me being a personal stylist. And I can sit here and tell you that I never thought that me dressing in funky and unique clothes as a young kid would lead me here, but I'm very happy to be here. And helping other people, especially, other women who are feeling like maybe they feel this need to become confident before they can actually utilize style. Like Jenny said, it's actually the other way around, and style can be a really great tool for individuals to use to help them become more confident and step into their confidence. So, yeah, I'm happy to be here and excited to chat about all this.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so cute that you were like in your mom's closet trying on office core.
Mhm.
And I love that she was supportive of you as well, because I feel like a lot of the times as little girls, we do try to express ourselves in certain ways, whether that is through clothes or I was always putting on dance shows or like singing. And parents, I feel like even with the best intentions, sometimes can like shut down that creativity by, the way that they react or like you never know how your kid is going to interpret that. But the fact that your mom was like really supportive and she was like, I don't get it, but you know what? You go, girl. Like, we love that. She is a girl's girl.
I love it. Yeah. She was always much smaller than I was. So I remember being in like middle school and being able to wear her clothes. And that was something that was weird for me. But she always just was very supportive of me wearing what I wanted to. So thank you, Mom.
Bless. We love her.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean having that support to like foster that creativity even as a kid is so huge and I feel like something as personal style, like I know even for myself and probably for some of the listeners, I can feel like there's a lot of fear of judgment of expressing yourself through clothes and maybe even like wearing something that is a little weird or a little what you call funky. Like I know for myself that has come up a lot of like, ooh, can I wear
Mhm.
this? Should I wear this? Is that something you've ever had to navigate or did you always just be like, I'm going to wear whatever I want?
Oh, no. Yeah. So I went through this phase, and maybe you listeners can relate, or Jenny, you too, where started to care more about what people thought about me, like middle of high school. And then it really like started to like even happen even more when I graduated high school and I was in college. And um, I really went through a phase where I struggled with loving my body. Um, Funny story, maybe not so funny, but I found a journal from 2012. Okay. And I was maybe a junior in high school in 2012. Yes, I was a junior in high school. I found it just yesterday, and it was amongst some other books from high school. And in there is a journal entry of me saying how much I hated my body. And um yeah, it was like it's crazy to see how much I've grown from high school and after high school and college, where I really started to care about what other people thought about my body specifically. I've always been like somebody who lived in a larger body. Um, I'm And it was always something that I noticed in every friend group I was in. My mom and my grandmother are much smaller than I am, and I was always a little bit bigger. My sister is much smaller than I am. And so I always felt like an outsider, and I always felt this need to shrink myself so that other people would approve of me or for me to fit in with society. And so um from about after high school to maybe my mid 20s, I really stopped being who I really wanted to be because I was afraid of what the world thought of would think of me. And so I started to dress in outfits that made me look smaller or wear clothes that were black or more flattering. I really dressed for the male gaze because I really wanted, I was looking for a partner and I wanted to find somebody that liked me. And I had this belief that I couldn't wear what I wanted to or these funky clothes and unique clothes and to find a partner or to find friends. And so, yes, I absolutely struggled with believing that what I was wearing was going to just make me look more weird and make me not fit in with the crowd. And I think, like I said, I think our brain goes through something after high school where we really start to care about what everyone thinks about us, and we're graduating college and we're going to get a job, we're supposed to get a job and we're supposed to get married and do all the things. And it was just a lot of me dealing with that internal battle of like, I really want to be this weird, funky, unique individual that I am, but I was fighting against that because I felt this need to fit in with the crowd and to be what everyone else wanted me to be. So absolutely, yes, I resonate a lot with that.
Mm. Sending so much love to little baby Bri, junior high school Bri, because high school Jenny was struggling with a similar thing, and honestly into college and even a little bit into med school. Like I've shared on a couple other episodes, like there was a lot of shame that I was carrying around in my body, a lot of self-judgment, fear of judgment from others. And really, yeah, I mean, similar story. The way that I dressed was like, I dressed so cute in high school. I also got voted best dressed. I went to a super tiny high school, which is like out in the middle of nowhere. So being best dressed there, like maybe doesn't mean as much, but I loved it. I was so proud.
Yeah.
I like really expressed myself through style up until like probably senior year of high school. And then something changed, you know? I wasn't happy in my body. I was judging her a lot, holding a lot of shame for her, like felt like she was too big, too this, and this. And maybe
Mhm.
if you're listening, you don't resonate with feeling like your body's too large, but maybe there's something about yourself that you try to hide away or you always want to change or, whatever it might be. I feel like we all, at least many of us, especially women, tend to have something that we deem on our body that's unworthy or unlovable. And for me, there was a long time in like college and even into med school, similar story where I just like dressed to look smaller. I dressed to blend in and like almost become invisible versus like me, I'm a dramatic bitch. Like I think I was just denying my inner self for so long because I was people pleasing. I wanted to fit in and my style just really reflected that, which is so sad because I mean Y2K fashion was lit. I really could have been taking
Mhm.
advantage of it. So for you, I mean, it sounds like there was this turning point, or I guess maybe you can describe what the turning point was for you, where you came kind of out of that experience of wanting to hide away and, not really loving your body to this place where you came back to those roots of like wanting to dress and express yourself. What was that journey like?
So for me, it was really during like the COVID quarantine time. And I remember being in a small one bedroom apartment with my Garrett, who is my now husband, who was my boyfriend at the time. This was the first apartment we lived in together, the first time living together 2 months after we moved in COVID. Um,
Forged by
he,
fire.
right, we worked out, we're married now, we live together still, but I just remember being like I and him telling me like you cannot live your life hating your body this much. Like it was an internal thing that I was dealing with where I was like, okay, I can't, like this is not healthy, right? Like this is not something that I can do for the rest of my life. And so it was during those months of us not really I was in my master's program and I had some free time. I was like I have to do the work, and I would follow, plus size influencers and like surround myself with like, just seeing other people who had bodies that I wasn't just comparing myself to, because there was a time where I think a lot of us can resonate where like everyone was just posting like fitness photos on social media, and that was like a big part of like who I followed. And I started to just do a lot of the inner work without knowing I was doing it. And I've actually talked about this in therapy with my therapist now. He's like, you really did a lot of what we're doing in therapy now for other things with yourself, with like for your eating disorder and your body image issues that you were dealing with without you even realizing that you were healing yourself. And so that's a really cool thing to look back on. But I just remember like immersing myself in like literature that was about like struggling with body image, and um doing so much research and just like really like journaling about it and standing in front of the mirror without clothes on. And then I ended up finding like movement that I actually enjoyed, which for me still actually it's been the longest type of movement that I've done is CrossFit. And I was doing it a little more competitively at the time, and now it's more for, it's a little bit less competitive, and I just do it for the purpose of like longevity. But I found movement I enjoyed, and it was like a really cool experience that I look back on now without realizing that I was doing it. But I was healing, right? Like I was healing myself. And Garrett was there for me. I'm really fortunate to have like a partner that was there through like the thick of it, and he was so supportive, and I would struggle and he would be there. And so having a partner was really great. And it was not until, I will say, maybe just a couple of years ago when I started immersing myself in like self-help with just, like breath work facilitation. And I was going on women's retreats and surrounding myself with women who are, deep in this integrated work that we like, that you do, Jenny, too. And so that was really where I started to like become alive again. And it took me years of really like pushing down who I wanted to be. And it wasn't just after me healing my eating disorder and starting to feel better in my body. It took even more than that for me to really be able to express myself and not be afraid of what the world thought about me. And so I really always talk about with any client is like, why are you not dressing for you? A lot of like their like that shadow work that they don't want to do is around they just care about what everyone thinks. I'm too afraid to launch this because I'm too afraid of failing, because failure then means everyone's going to judge me for failing. I can't wear this because people are going to think that this and this and this, whatever it is about me. So it's just always a lot of it goes back to caring about what other people think. And so but yeah, that's kind of a little bit about me and my journey, and it was very unique for me. It wasn't like this one thing that happened overnight, but it was truly just being so self-aware that I couldn't live my life like that. I was like, I can't. Something has to change, something's got to give. I got to do the inner work. I have to put myself in spaces where I can talk about this and be vulnerable and have other people share that they are also struggling. And I know that that also was a big part, but again, it was my unique journey and something that I think everyone will navigate on their own unique terms. But that's definitely a little bit about me and how I got here.
Mm. Thank you for sharing that, and I know that there's, like, so many parts of your story that I'm sure will resonate with people
Mhm.
kind of all along the spectrum of that journey, and, like, I've shared about mine as well, and there's a lot of similarities between, our experiences. Of course, everything's unique as well to each person and what they're navigating, but I, I know that for you especially, like, style has been a really powerful tool and, like, really coming back to yourself. And something I wanna touch on before we move on is, like, this fear of judgment, like, fear of what other people will think. Like, yes, we care about what other people think, but I think the hardest part about that, the, like, shadow of that shadow, is that the reason why you're afraid of it is because it validates what you think about yourself. So
Mm.
if you are afraid that people are gonna judge you for looking too big, let's just use that as an example, it's more than likely that you think you're too big and that part of your body
Mhm.
is unlovable and unworthy. So, yes, there's
I
so
love
many,
it.
like, societal things that come in when we're, like, caring about what other people think, or, comparing ourselves to others. Like, there's so much societal shit and shame wrapped up in that. There's also generational things for women especially, but also it's just, like, those insecurities are just really deeply highlighted. And anything that we're really afraid of being judged by others, we're probably just projecting what we think of ourselves. So if you're
No.
in this position where maybe similar to Bri and I, where you were like really holding back, like watering yourself down, shape shifting yourself to fit into a certain box or a label or an identity, and maybe you're there right now, just know that the tools that work for me or work for Bri, like, or work for anybody, they're going to look different. They need to be unique to you, but there's always somewhere you can start. Even if
Mhm.
you just start with something like a journaling practice, like the journal that you found, I
Mhm.
love that you still have that as a token of like, wow, this is how far I've really come. But
Yeah.
I just want to like offer some hope that if you are listening to this and you're really, potentially struggling with the way that your body looks right now or anything about yourself and your self-worth and your self-image, there is so many tools available to you, so many people who love and care about you and who could support you. And there's two of us right here. So,
Mhm.
and it gets to look so unique for each person. So, with you, like navigating that journey, through eating disorder, body image struggles, like, did you have any idea that style would be the thing that would like pull you out of that a lot or no?
Honestly, no. So a couple of years ago when I first, I graduated with my master's degree, and I really just knew I wanted to help women feel better about themselves, feel more confident, be these like badass, I don't give a shit about what anybody thinks about me with like individuals. Like that was just something I knew I wanted to do at some capacity. And so the first thing I ever did was I launched, a body image coaching course. And so I walked a couple women through there and I just kind of pivoted along the way where I pivoted into more empowerment coaching, and it all the core mission or the vision that I had was always just to empower women to speak up for themselves, to be able to be their weird funky selves that they deep down wanted to be but didn't feel confident enough to do it because of society and because of all the things that we deal with. And I really had to, do a couple pivots. And pivots for me, all at the beginning, were I was very ashamed of my pivots. I am somebody who is very multi passionate. I'm an Enneagram 4. I'm a manifesting generator, if you know any of the things. I am
What up, girl?
very, yeah, I am very creative. I love, if I try something and I like it, I'm going to try it. And I would always just feel ashamed of giving up on it. Um, and something that manifesting generators and Enneagram 4s do is we try things and we're supposed to allow ourselves to, if we want to not give up on them, but if we're like, we're done here, we're moving on because it's all part of our growth and our journeys. And so for me, no, style wasn't something that I was like, this is going to help me feel more confident about myself. In fact, during this time of me like stepping into empowerment coaching or even body image coaching, I felt this need to dress in a way that a body image coach would dress. So like I wore like workout clothes a lot in I look back now and I'm like, man, I like was wearing like more workout clothes because I felt this need to fit this mold of like what I thought a body image coach was supposed to be. Mind you, I was also in some business um programs that were, not great, very like hyper masculine and like I was very much stepping into like my masculine energy there, but I forgot about my feminine energy. So then when I transitioned into empowerment coaching, I felt this need to like wear lots of dark clothes, like red and black, because that's what I saw other empowerment coaches doing. And I just never leaned into like, what is it that you want to wear, Brie? I would go to the store, I would see funky clothes and be like, I could never pull that off. I'm not buying that. I could never pull that off. And it wasn't until I actually went on an all women's retreat a couple years ago. And somebody said to me on the retreat that they felt like I was like not allowing myself to be who I really am. Like I don't remember specifically what she said, but she's like, I see that you're like dimming your light. I feel like there's a lot more to you. And I challenge you to explore that place. And so for a couple of months, a couple years ago, I just decided to just post whatever I wanted on social media, speak about whatever I wanted. And that is when I just started to wear things that felt like me. It was when I started to explore this like, you know what? I'm just not going to claim myself as anybody. I'm just Brianna. I'm just, I just want to make people laugh. I want to make people feel good. I want to make people, other women feel confident and give them like that permission slip to be whoever they want to be. And that's when I started exploring with my style again. Mind you, because I did explore, but I stopped exploring because I felt this need to be this version of me that everyone else wanted me to. And so that's when I was like, you know what? Let's play around. Let's make videos of me wearing these funky clothes and post them online. And, I started to just feel myself come out a lot, like come out again. And so it's been about 2 years that I've truly been leaning into my style and allowing it to be the tool that helps me continue to feel confident when I'm not feeling like great in my body. I throw something on that's funky and feels like me. And you better believe that I feel like the most confident person in the room all of the time. And it is such a crazy thing to think about how a couple of years ago, I didn't. I would, put on all the makeup. I would do my hair. I would put something on that I thought I needed to wear, and I would feel so worried about what everyone thought about me. And so for me to be able to put something on and walk into a room and feel like I look amazing and I feel so confident doing so is just a testament to all this work that I've done and like the journeys that I've been on, all of the pivots. And so, yeah, I mean, Jenny and I were talking about something earlier, and I think it's hard. A lot of times we don't notice all of our growth and we don't notice all of the wins, right? The micro wins that turn into these like giant moments for us. And so right now here is like me speaking these things into existence is like, holy shit, like I've come so far and I'm really proud of myself.
Damn straight, as you should be. Like, that is, something I think as women, like, just really can struggle to do is like really celebrate ourselves and even take a moment to look back and see where you started from, how far you've come, and really just giving yourself a moment to like truly celebrate all of the work that you've put in, all of the growth that you've had, and the fact that you actually got to come back to you and like be a more authentic, expressed version of yourself. Like I can't think of a win that feels any
Mhm.
better than being able to be yourself, especially in a world where it's hard to be yourself sometimes. Like there is so much pressure to look a certain way, to fit into these roles and these boxes. And I definitely can resonate with like trying to wear clothes that I thought a doctor would wear and trying to wear clothes that like somebody who felt good about their body would wear. Meanwhile, I wasn't actually honoring my own self-expression. And for those of you listening, Bri has been a huge part of my own little style evolution that I've been on the last like, I don't know, 8 months. And I'm very thankful because it feels so good to be able to like come back into yourself and recognize that style is just another tool for you to be able to tell the world like who you are, what's on the inside, reflecting that on the outside. And really, truly, like what you're saying, if you're maybe not feeling as confident in your body right now, like don't fucking wait to wear the outfit that lights you
Mhm.
up. Like wear it now so that you can embody that confidence because you're dressing as her, you're dressing as that like that alter ego, the version of you who is confident. So maybe can you speak a little bit more to like, because I think a lot of people like will save things for like, oh, when my body changes then I'll wear this, or oh, if that special occasion happens then I'll wear this. Like, can you just speak a little bit more to that and how that can create confidence?
Yeah, so I used to wait for the rodeo. So I live in Texas, Central Texas, South Central, and we have a rodeo every year. And so, y'all, I used to save my funky, I would plan my rodeo outfits way in advance. And we would go multiple times. The rodeo is like a week or 2 weeks, and we would go multiple times, and I would save my funky outfits for the rodeo. And I look back through photos, and I have been that was the time that I allowed myself to express myself because other people would wear funky outfits there too. And so my advice or something that I would suggest is find places that you feel safe to wear the funky outfits. And I say funky because that's just I love the word funky. It's like it's just different. It's you, it's your version of what funky means, right? And so find spaces where you're like I know I'm going to be able to go into this space and no one, there's not going to be people who are judging me. So maybe there's a women's group in your city, or there's a club or a nightclub, or the rodeo, for example, was an event that like I would go to and I wouldn't feel like people were judging me. In fact, I felt like, oh my gosh, everyone's wearing funky expressed outfits here too. And so find spaces, or create a space. Be like, you know what? I'm going to create a space in my city where we go out to brunch, or we go out to a bar, or wherever, to the park, and be like, wear the weirdest thing that you can possibly wear, because it is so freeing to just feel so scared to like wear things that you actually want to wear. And then once you do it, it's going to be uncomfortable. Um, the truth is, it is going to be uncomfortable, but once you do it, it's so empowering and it feels so amazing to be like, I'm wearing this thing that I thought I could never wear out in public, and I actually am not that afraid. Like, I'm having a great time. I'm with all these other women who are also wearing weird, funky things. Um, and let it be like something that you create if there isn't opportunity, or if there is opportunity for you to create that in your city, but maybe there's already spaces. If you're like, I'm not going to create something, find spaces where you can dress in a way that is okay without feeling like people are going to judge you there.
I
Because
love that.
that's truly something that I feel like helped me so much, was rodeo of 2020. What year are we? 2025. Like, rodeo of 2023 was the year that I was like, I'm just going to keep dressing this way. And then I just never stopped. So that's definitely something that I would suggest for anybody who's like, how do I like gain the courage to actually wear this out in public without feeling like, it's easy to go into the dressing room and like you're by yourself and staring in the mirror and you're like, yeah, I love it. And then you're about to go out into the world and you're like, oh, does this actually look good? Like, should I go out like this? Just do it. Like, I dare you. I'm giving you the permission slip to do it, because it's going to be easier every time that you like allow yourself to do that.
We double dog dare you to do it. And I love that idea. Like, also, I love the vision of rodeo Brie, like rodeo, long live rodeo Brie. And I love that you found a space where you were like, you know what? I'm just going to try this out in a space where I don't feel like that judgment exists. And like she's saying, if you need to create that space for yourself, like do it. I saw a trend on TikTok where it was like a special occasion party, quote unquote, where you wear the outfit that you've been saving for a special occasion to a party at your friend's house, and everybody just shows up and they're like their freaking gowns or like ridiculous outfits, and you just have a great time. Like, we don't, and something that, I think you put in your your note when we scheduled this call was like, you don't know that we have tomorrow. So like, why not dress the way that you actually want today? Why not dress the way that actually lights you up and feels so fun for you right now, before waiting for all these other external circumstances to change? And maybe you do find an event in your city. And I will say, I feel like the queer community does an amazing job of self-expression through clothing and hair and makeup and all of these things. So with June being so close, like Pride, I feel like could be such a fun place to start to explore. And like, maybe that's where you like let your hair down a little bit and wear something that feels a little out of your comfort zone, but you get to be surrounded by other people who are doing the same. And I feel like that energy is just so inspiring to show up and really realize that like the only person judging you is yourself. And that's true to a certain extent, because I feel like humans just in general, we are very judgy. But like, even if somebody does have a judgment of you, are they going to remember that in 5 minutes? Probably not. The only person that's really going to remember that and feel that and continue to like latch onto that judgment is you. So can you just like drop that, let yourself explore, let yourself just have fun? And like, the thing is, it's something as deep and also not deep as style is like, if you wear an outfit that maybe doesn't make sense, okay, what's the worst that can happen? You move on, you don't wear it again. I
Hmm.
don't know. Like, even just giving yourself some permission to like to play around, to experiment. And if you wear an outfit that like you get out into public and you're like, maybe this actually doesn't look as good as I thought it did. Okay, great. You have information and you just experimented and you let yourself play. Like, can you not make yourself wrong for that and just like really celebrate yourself for showing up and wearing the thing and just like doing it anyway?
Hmm.
And I
Love
love
it.
something that you've said a couple times, and also on the recent me binging, wear whatever the F you want, because I'm obsessed with Stacey and Clinton. I was obsessed with What Not to Wear as a kid, and love that they brought a new show back that's like less about rules and more about personal expression. But something they say a lot and something you've said as well is like your style speaks before you do. Your style enters the room and speaks before you open your mouth. So maybe you can share a little bit more about how that translates to women who are, either owning their own businesses or really wanting to create a presence for themselves. Like, how do you see style involved in that?
Yeah, so I think the thing that I really see a lot of is, especially have being I've styled quite a few CEOs or brand owners for photo shoots, for example, or brand shoots that they've wanted. And so what I see a lot of is people thinking that a CEO looks a certain way. That is the white blazer or a black blazer with like, you know, very clean, very, there's a look of what we see within like the CEO community, especially for women. And if you look on Pinterest and you type in like CEO photo shoot or brand photo shoot, you see a lot of the same things, right? You see like I just envision in my head somebody with a white suit on with like black pumps and a disco ball, right? Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what I want you to ask yourself is like, is that what you envision yourself in, or is that what society says is a CEO, like a CEO, like a powerful female CEO? And I don't think we do enough of that. I don't think we actually reflect back to like, what is it that I actually want to wear, right? Or what is it that I want people to feel when they see me in my clothing? We just have this idea of what we need to look like in order to be taken seriously or look like a CEO or look like a brand owner. And then we follow those rules, right? And so I just challenge anybody who is, even if you're a small business owner, this is the perfect place for you to start. Like, start exploring your style at the beginning of your business journey so that you can allow yourself to play. And the beautiful thing about style is it's art, right? And so there are no rules. Whoever made up trends and whoever made up rules is it's just big fashion companies trying to sell more clothes. And so nothing goes out of style. You don't have to not wear white after Labor Day. All of the things that we've ever heard are just made up things so that you buy more clothes. And so, style, if you can really hone in on that, style is an art, it's self expression. Again, what Jenny said, and what I say often is like, when you walk into a room, if people can sense who you are before you even say a word, that is power. And that is a tool and something that we should all be utilizing as CEOs, brand owners, small business owners, as a tool to level up or to stand out from a crowd, because I guarantee you there's other people who are doing the same thing that you are with your business model. Maybe you do it a little different, but at the end of the day it's similar, right? Somebody else is doing something similar to you. So how do you help yourself stand out? You work with a brand designer and they like make your brand really pretty, and like you have your colors for your branding, and you work, all the things, and your logo looks specific in your website. But what about you? Right? Like, what about you when you're hopping on a Zoom call and you're speaking to your community? What about you when you're walking in to a conference and you're, handing out your business cards? How are you? Who has helped you with your style to elevate your brand, right? And so I think it's just something that is, I don't know if I like this, but like slept on, and like people are not utilizing their style again to help them stand out in the crowd, help them be that person that like, oh my gosh, like I need to go talk to that person because I just need to tell her that her blazer is amazing. And then what if that connection was the butterfly effect, and you were supposed to meet this individual who went and said that your blazer was amazing, and then they become your next collab or partner or client, and then that leads to something new, something bigger, right? And so I think that is just really what I love to help other, and what I would love to continue helping other brand owners, CEOs, small business owners, entrepreneurs lean into is, your style can really be this tool that a lot of other people are not utilizing because they're afraid to dig deeper than just searching on Pinterest what their style brand shoot should look like. And they're not exploring what actually lights them up. Is it what colors, right? What textures, what um, patterns, what silhouettes, all of those things can really play a fact in how you, right, are perceived by the world. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about how, yeah, like just what I would like so many more CEOs, and I'm never shitting on anybody's style. I'm never looking at other people and judging anybody because it's always up to them. And I think that style is unique in that sense. But sometimes I see people that I'm like, if you would have just, worn this or added this or done this, right? And I'm not going to reach out to them and like shit on their bubble ever. But there's sometimes where I'm like, man, I think if they would have just added this or done this, their presence on stage would have just, their energy's already there, their personality's there. What's lacking is their style. And so that is what I feel like so many, especially people who are on stages, right, need to lean into is like, how can I utilize my style to help people recognize my brand, to help people point my brand out of a crowd like, oh, she's this person. I know her brand. She dresses this way. Their style and their brand can become this thing that people remember. And that's what you want, right? You want people to remember you. You want people to be like, she's the girl that dresses in the really cool outfits. And I will never forget her or her brand.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing opportunity, especially if you are an entrepreneur, is like remembering that your business, like you are your brand a lot of the times as an entrepreneur and your style and the way that you show up. And this is something that I'm still, working on and exploring with is like the way that you show up in your style is a perfect opportunity to start communicating about who you are and choosing how you show up in the world. And like, honestly, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, like even if you're showing up to meetings or you're leading things at work or, even just out and about doing your thing, like the way that you dress and the way that you express yourself through that tells people a story about you. And like Bri's saying, like, especially as an entrepreneur, you want people to remember you and your style can be a way to do that rather than like blending in and just wearing like beige and black and whatever, because it's what a CEO should wear and what an entrepreneur should wear. Like choosing to wear something that really feels true and authentic for you because that's what people are going to remember. And authenticity is one of the, like, I think it is the highest frequency, like truth and authenticity, even over the energy of love. So if somebody feels your authenticity, like you really showing up in your style that feels so you, feels so self expressed, so authentic, like that is so magnetic. That kind of energy is so magnetic. And something that I think, you're right. Like a lot of people probably aren't capitalizing on in terms of being an entrepreneur. And like whether you're listening to this and you're an entrepreneur or not, it doesn't matter. You can start to use your style as a way to play around and express, yourself and show up authentically and not just wearing what's trendy, what you feel like you should wear, but really truly creating a style that feels unique to you and knowing that that can change, like that will change throughout the rest of your life, right? Like you're going to continue to pivot and find out
Yes.
what you like. And I think for you in particular, like secondhand shopping seems to be a big way that you like try out a lot of different things. Can you speak more to like using secondhand style or like shopping as a way to influence your style?
Yeah, and so to just piggyback off of what we just talked about, I do want to share that, right? If you are somebody who is a beige babe, if you love beige, we love that for you, right? Like,
Yes.
I'm never going to tell anybody that they need to change what they're wearing or what they like. But something that I will tell everybody is to, why do you like something? Or why do you feel this need to wear it, right? If it's trending and you're going to a store that sells trendy things. I was going to say Forever 21, but they're closing. But Forever
Rip.
21 was a great place where it was, you would find trendy clothes there. And so I loved Forever 21, but I would catch myself buying trendy things because I felt this need to fit in with everyone else. So, right, it goes back to like fitting in. So, my only thing is always just to challenge anybody before they decide to, go out and buy anything. Why are you gravitating towards that? Is it because you actually like it, or is it because you feel this pressure from society to dress in that way? So I just wanted to kind of end that conversation there, because I'm never, I've styled people who like wearing beige things, but like how can we make it more you, right? Like how do we not become a carbon copy of what everyone thinks a CEO is? And so that's truly what I will always challenge anybody to do, is like ask themselves why, and is that really what they want to wear? But to your point about secondhand shopping is a fabulous way to find items that are not trendy, because they're clothes that people maybe bought back in the day that are now not trending, and so they donate them or they sell them. And so this is really a fabulous way, one, for you to not break the bank while you shop, right? I love secondhand shopping because I grew up where my grandma would make me wait for something because she knew it was going to go on sale, and in fact it would go on sale. And she taught me that, and so you very rarely will catch me buying anything full price. It's like a stab to the chest, like to the heart. Like I just can't physically get myself to do it. I have to like really love something so much to get it full price, and even then I'll try to find a code online to like get myself 10% off, whatever it is. Like I'm somebody who really loves finding like things that we can purchase that are not going to break the bank. um, I don't think that you need to have all this money to have a fabulous wardrobe. So anybody who thinks that, well, I just don't make enough money to dress the way that I want, like there are ways for you to find things out there that are gently used, to create a wardrobe that you absolutely love. And so I utilize my secondhand stores. I love like Goodwill, I love like Salvation Army, but I also love like Plato's Closet and Uptown Cheapskate. Those are a little bit higher end secondhand stores where they buy things that they know will sell. So you will find items there that are going to be, you know, they won't have tears, or they don't smell bad, or like all those things that maybe at Goodwill you have to like sift through. So if you're like, I'm just not a Goodwill shopper, something I would encourage you to do is try like Uptown Cheapskate or Plato's Closet. And don't just try one and say, I'm never going there again, because every single Plato's Closet has they're a franchise, and Uptown. So find one that you love, because in my city, I mean, I live in San Antonio, Texas. I live in a bigger city. There's like 6 Plato's Closets here. And I've been to all of them, and I know which one I love most and the one I find the most items at. So I go there over and over and over again. And I can tell you that about 80% of my wardrobe is secondhand. Um, and I think so many more people, we should lean into learning how to secondhand shop. I know that it can be overwhelming for some people, and some people are like, I just hate shopping in general. So for me to have to sift through clothes is not my vibe. I totally get it. But there are so many clothes out in the world. And so if we can do, like, I feel like my one little part of giving back is utilizing secondhand. I buy my husband secondhand clothes. I buy my family, like I'll curate them bundles for Christmas for gifts. And so it's just my little piece of giving back to the world. But if I were to give anybody any tips for like secondhand shopping, it's to set yourself up for success. So go buy yourself a coffee, grab your headphones, give yourself ample time. Like, don't go to Plato's Closet if you're looking for a dress for an hour from now. That's probably, you're not setting yourself up for success. So go with time and just enjoy it. Like, don't feel this like I need to find something in specific. Go with like an open mind and feel into clothes that like, this is a little weird and a little funky, but I really like it. I'm going to try it on. And then that's my like one little step. Like, try it on. If it's feels good, buy it, like, and then and challenge yourself to style it. And so it's really just a great opportunity for you to find unique items that not everyone else is wearing, right? You could go to Target and buy the thing that's on the mannequin, and then you go to an event and there's 2 other people wearing it because that was an easy buy, which is valid and that's fine. And Target has great items, but most of my Target items are from Plato's Closet because people wear them once and then they sell them at Plato's Closet. And that's where I get my Target items. So, yeah, those are some tips. And secondhand shopping is fabulous. And if you hate secondhand shopping but you love the concept, I also curate style bundles. I do them more exclusively. So I only have a couple of bundles every month that, it's first come, first serve. But those are fabulous. Jenny has bought a couple from me, and that really did add, I mean, so many pieces to your wardrobe that I see you wearing often, that you're kind of like, learning how to like integrate with other items. And I see you like wear like one thing with like three other things that we like put together for you. So it's amazing to kind of see you how like from the beginning of like my first time stalking your page to get a sense of like who you were when I first did your first style bundle to now. I'm like, girl, like this evolution of color. And I think too, you would wear a lot of like workout type clothes in like a lot of your previous videos. And I mean, same. But now I see you and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm constantly like, girl, this outfit, this outfit, this outfit.
You're like, I love this outfit because I bought it for you. No, I'm just kidding.
No, well, you've been doing a great job at like secondhand shopping yourself. So it's giving you like that inspiration too.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I actually do want you to describe. Can you just tell people a little bit more about what a style bundle is?
Yeah. Okay, so a style bundle essentially is a curated box of items that I find for you, secondhand items that I find for you at secondhand stores. And so the process essentially works like you filling out a detailed questionnaire, you giving me your size, your measurements, and you also give me like a Pinterest board that you're kind of like you've curated and you're like, I really want the vibe of what I'm searching for to look like this. You can tell me like I absolutely don't want jeans, but I'm looking for like this type of a pant, and like I really want pinks and I really want cheetah print. And so then you give me about 2 weeks and I go out and I shop for you and I will ship the bundle to your door, and then you get to wear all the fabulous items that I shopped for you. So it's a really great way for somebody if you're out there and you're like, I hate shopping or I hate trying on clothes and I like to shop online, but like when I get the clothes and I never return them. And so you're just sitting in this limbo area of like, I love clothes, but I don't know, I don't have the energy to go. I don't like shopping. What do I do? I would love to shop for you. It's seriously like a passion project of mine that it's therapeutic for me to be like out shopping at the secondhand stores and like looking through people's Pinterest boards and their sizes and like what they're specifically looking for. And when I find a piece that I'm like, oh my gosh, like thrifting gods, this was made for Jenny in this style bundle. So yeah, it's really just I'm like your personal shopper, and then you do none of the work other than filling out a questionnaire, and I go based off of that and then ship it to your door.
And she's so fucking good at it, y'all. Like, I think I was introduced to you, what was it, last August? Like, I went on a women's retreat, and the woman that was leading the retreat was doing, I think she was doing a brand photo shoot, and you were like styling her. I'm pretty sure that's how I heard about you, or through somebody else. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I started, stalking you on Instagram as one does. And I had this moment where I was like, wow, I've been wearing a lot of like, at the time, just wearing a lot of things that were either like, I was wearing a lot of like leggings and flannels. That was my whole vibe during COVID, because I was like just trying to like be comfortable and kind of hide away. And like, again, there's nothing wrong with that. But I just started realizing, I'm like, am I wearing leggings because I actually like them, or because I was uncomfortable in my body? And it was the latter. And I was wearing clothes that were like very neutral and professional, quote unquote, for my, my day job as a doctor. And I was like, oh, well, a doctor couldn't wear funky clothes. Like, and I just had all these hangups, and I was working through a lot of like, I've still been working through a lot of identity work, like really seeing myself for who I am and feeling really authentic. And like, style has been such a fun way to just come back to and like start exploring that, because like I said earlier, like I was so into style in high school. Like I freaking loved it. I loved playing dress up every day going to high school. I would wear fucking heels to high school. Like, why? Who does that? But I loved it. And then I think I just spent a long time just wearing clothes that were hiding me or looked a certain way that I thought I had to, and starting to play around with clothes again the last like, yeah, less than a year, and having Bri be a resource where I was like, look at this Pinterest board. This like lights me up, all of these clothes, but I have no idea what to do with them. And she was like, I got you, and put together an amazing bundle and sent me clothes that I probably would have never picked out for myself. but I put them on and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. And I've done 3 of them now with style bundles with you because it's just so fun to be able to like take a little bit of the pressure off, have somebody else who's very good at what she does, pick out clothes for you based on what she's seeing in your Pinterest board and knowing, kind of the vibes that you're going for. And honestly, I think starting to do some style bundles with you has really pushed me out of my comfort zone with style and started to really like ignite that fire again of like, oh, I really do like expressing myself through clothes. And it feels so good going out in public and being like somebody being like, oh my God, I love what you're wearing. Where did you get that? And I'm like, oh, my friend Bri thrifted it for me. Or like I thrifted it for me. And it feels so fun. And it's been something that I've like really enjoyed playing around with. And I probably need to stop thrifting. TBH, I've been going a lot, but no such thing as too much thrifting. But yeah, I feel like if you are, somebody who's maybe wanting to come back to or start to explore your style, like wanting to dress and express yourself, but you don't really know where to start. Like Bri's given you some great tips on like find a place that feels safe to start exploring and where you don't feel like you're going to be judged. We don't have the rodeo in the Midwest, but you can find something else. Like, I'm sure there's something. Find that space or create that space. Can you, like she's saying, like take yourself on a little date and go out secondhand shopping and like make it a whole experience. Find things that just like they just like light you up. They light that little like, ooh, I like this. Like, ooh,
Mhm.
this is unique. This is different. This feels like something that could be fun to wear. Like just really looking for those signs that it could be something that would be really fun for you to explore and finding a place to try that out. And I also want people to, just give themselves and hopefully use this episode as a permission slip to like wear the weird thing, wear the thing that you've been saving, the thing that's in like in the back of your closet that like you bought when you bought it when you were ovulating and now you're like, I can never wear that again. Like your confidence was through the roof and you're like, I can do this. And you never wore it. Like maybe there is something in your closet that you're like thinking of even during this episode. You're like, like, can you challenge yourself to wear that? Can you challenge yourself to just step out of your box a little bit and start to really give yourself some evidence that like, oh, I'm the only one judging me. If people judge me, that's okay. That's fine. That's on them. Like, that's fine. I get to wear what I want. And you get to start playing around with this in really, small ways or big ways, but it gets to be accessible. It gets to meet you where you're at, which I think is the beauty of, working with your style. And
Mhm.
I think there's just so much like fun to be had. I mean, again, it's like it's not that serious. It's like it gets to be playful. It gets to be fun. Like you're wearing fucking strawberry earrings for God's sakes. And people who aren't watching the video, Bri's earrings are amazing and they're so funky and fun. Like and that, says so much about you before you even share your story and open your mouth. Like you're the girl who's willing to wear strawberry earrings. Like that's a cool chick. I want to be friends with her. And just remembering like the way you express yourself through clothes and style is going to magnetize the people that are meant for you, like as long as you're showing up authentically. And I think that you also get to give them a permission slip to like be weird and funky too.
Yes, absolutely. Love it.
And I want to know a little bit more about so you mentioned some other ways that people can work with you. Do you mind sharing about how somebody would take that next step? Okay, Bri, I have so loved this conversation about style and how it can really influence your confidence and, influence your brand if you're an entrepreneur and you're in business. Like style is such a powerful tool for not only self-expression and healing, but also just for showing up and being confident and expressed in a world where it's way easier to just be watered down and cookie cutter. And if that's your vibe, great. But I don't think you'd be listening to this podcast if that was your vibe. So if you are looking to start exploring with your own personal style, there's some great tips you can start trying on from this episode. And you can also work directly with Bri. So, Bri, can you share a little bit about how people can start to work with you and what that looks like?